And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our growlings when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome in to another Zomblers matchup here tonight. Zomblers with a very hot start to the season. They are 4-1 already in this 12-game season. They've got wins over Team Atlas G, Watergun Revival, Tyler Shortbus, and Steel's Bicycle. A Vipem with 124 kills already on the season, and the 98 ADR is the guy to watch out for here tonight. JR Nasty with 89, Panda with 83, Diabetic with 79, Chromax Jacob with 71, and Yumi with 62. On the other side of the field here tonight, Able Esports, they're 3-2, so an unsteady start to the season with losses against Tempest Rising and Ducky Momo. They do have wins against Bazinga Blasters, Uncharted, and a forfeit win over Desert Elite. Explicit, the man to watch for here tonight for them, 110 kills. MNZ with 93 kills, Front M with 71, Chuck with 62, and Kizzy with 59. So anything can happen here, folks. We're going to be heading live down to Nuke here in just a moment. I apologize for a little bit late start, but the teams have not started yet. So you haven't missed any action. Go take a pee break, go get you a drink, go get you some snacks, get ready, because we're going to be live here soon. I'll get back with you here in a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be live for the action here shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready. Please help me welcome in my co-caster here tonight, Mr. Kamika. What is up, buddy?
CT side, which is the preferred side. And yeah, the map, as you can plainly see tonight, is going to be Nuke. Able Esports coming off of a solid win last night up against their previous opponents. Zomblers also winning their last game. Both have played and won Nuke once, so pretty even on the stats front on that side. Zomblers already off to a good start, and they are going to be making their way up for a... I was going to say a solid hold, but the bomb goes down quite quickly for Able Esports. They still have all their util for the retake, but Able Esports, this is still a great amount of time to be taking the bomb site in. And still great positions as well. And as they all fly in, they all go down, except for Yuumi with the USP up top. Not much you can really do here. This is just a really strong take for Able Esports, and yeah, not much else you can do other than that.
What is up, Kamika? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we are also going to be getting joined by AngelOfBattle tonight. He's going to be covering Zomblers' end of the stream. And so you're getting a little bit of 2 for the price of 1 tonight for casters. How you doing, Angel?
I'm doing all right, man. Just got off of a game. I know you did as well, so it was a rush to get in. But what a hold there for Able Esports, able to take away the first round of the evening here. Just a solo kill for Yuumi. But here we are, Able Esports 3-2 on the season. Zomblers 4-1, so they're off to a hot start. Able a little unsteady, although right there, look at that. MNZ able to get a kill onto Yuumi. Explicit gonna find one on the Vipum as well. And now Able Esports are gonna find the 5v3 man advantage before we even get inside the building.
As we do get inside the building, front is taking quite a lot of damage, but control is still being had of the inside of the building for Able Esports. But that could obviously change at any time. A USP, all you really need in order to do a little bit of damage to these weakened players. It's going to be a 2v4 situation. Bomb still very audaciously going on the outside of the map. What do you think of this?
Well, there we go. Explicit lining it up, gets the kill before I could even have a comment to say about it. And Able Esports going to go ahead and pick up their second round of the evening. So what we kind of expect to see after someone winning a pistol round, they're going to go ahead and get a second round as well. And now Zomblers is going to go ahead and buy some weapons here. They've got some A1Ss, an MP9 for Diabetic, which is interesting, and the FAMAS as well. Sometimes we see a team maybe go 3 down before they'll buy rifles, but Zomblers ready to go ahead and buy up here, trying to make a little bit of difference against Able Esports. But Able Esports, they're fully kitted on the other side, AKs and Galils as well. So momentarily, at least in my opinion, firepower in the hands of Able. Let's see if we can get some action inside.
Yeah, good smoke on the door is going to mean that Nasty is going to be able to keep them at bay at least for a little bit, but those bullets can travel both ways, so he does have to be a little bit cautious. Chuck is lining up for a solid smoke placement on the outside, so it appears that Able are actually not going for a play on the inside. Instead, they could very well either go for the back door on them, or they could make their way up down through Secret, but it appears that the molly out Secret is going to be leading them to go on the inside, which doesn't work out quite so well for them. Nice and ready is going to be Zomblers as they wipe out every single person except for Kizzy.
Yeah, Panda doing a phenomenal job on top of the hut there, but Kizzy trying to keep Able alive, and he does. It's 1v1, but Yuumi is there. Lands the shot, lurking outside. 3 kills for Kizzy. Could not be enough, though. Yuumi comes in with a clutch kill, and Zomblers rights the ship a little bit and cuts into that lead and keeps it at 1-2. 3 kills for Panda, 1 for JR Nasty, 1 for Diabetic, and 2 for Yuumi here for Zomblers.
Yeah, it's good for Zomblers to be winning that round, coming off of like a tough loss on the pistol round, and then right after a save round, if you lost 2 rounds in a row, you'd be going straight into another save round, which would even further enable Able Esports to get a massive lead. And the util going into this round would have been pretty nasty. Looking at it now, it looks like Zomblers are going to be down a little bit in the util, I do believe, in compared to Able Esports, but they've still got some great positions being held, and they're wasting a lot of their opponent's util with some good smokes. That molly's going to go straight into the smoke, which means it's going to be more or less useless. And yeah, time is still on the side of Zomblers, and they're holding onto their util, I would argue, a little bit better than Able is right now.
Yeah, 100%. Really just discipline here, just kind of sitting back, letting Able come to them. They feel confident now that they've got a round under the belt. So, especially Panda. I mean, after that 3K, the adrenaline gets going a little bit, maybe a little bit of nerves also starting the match, but Zomblers really starting to look to form here as they hold off Able Esports.
But Able Esports forming up something of their own. They all make it down Secret, no questions asked, not a single problem. No util, not as much util as our opponent, no problem. One smoke will get us all the way down to where we need to be, and this will be where the minority of Zomblers players are going to be, so this could be another easy as it goes plant for Able Esports like we saw in the first round.
And we'll have to watch the retake game here for Zomblers, although Vipum's in a great spot, and there you go. He'll find Kizzy. That'll be 1 down. MNZ in the process. We'll find Diabetic, and then indeed, Able does get the bomb down, but now we get to see Zomblers retake game here. Didn't get to see it kind of early, but now that they have rifles in hands, a little bit of equalizers, if you will. Let's see if the strategy can come to fruition. Let's see how they do, but MNZ sitting tall. He's going to find a couple of damage or sorry, a couple rounds. He'll actually find a kill as well as Vipem falls. And now Front is going to get another one as well. M&Z doing some work down here on the site, but Yuumi finally making that trade. Explicit, though, ends the run here, gets the kill, and Able Esports extends the lead out to 2.
Yeah, M&Z got really great value for every single peek. Just playing a professional game of peekaboo with Zomblers. Oh, I'm over here. No, I'm over here, but I'm shooting you every single time I peek out. And took down 3 players before all was said and done. And that is devastating for the side of Zomblers, also because they are now going to be forced onto a save round. Able Esports, not only did they get the plant down, but they didn't really die a whole lot. So that's not a lot of money going back towards Zomblers for what Able is going to be getting out of that round. So they're forced into a save. We're talking about Util earlier. It's going to be absolutely not there at all for Zomblers, so they're going to have to go in for a straight rush and try and hope for the best up against Able.
Chuck now trying to check the boxes. 2 out of 5. Nope. M&Z is going to find the other 2, and that'll be all down to JR Nasty at the bottom of the ramp. Front switches to the pistol, gets the kill, and a very, very quick round for Able Esports there. And like you said, Zomblers just had to kind of get aggressive with what they had in hand, had to force the rush. Unfortunately, didn't work out in their favor, and now the lead will be cut down to 3.
I mean, yeah, it was definitely a play that you can make with the pistols. Is either you get full aggro with the pistols, you all go in a giant death ball, as I like to call it, or you try and all stack one side with the pistols. And that's definitely something that you can see a lot, is just a rush up through ramp and trophy, exactly what they did right there, but it didn't quite work out well for them. But I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to. The goal of the save round is to save, but will it work? Will the save round work and get them the benefit they're hoping for? It looks like not so far.
Diabetic gonna go ahead and find one. Yuumi gets another one as well. Diabetic doing some work here. Gets Kizzy in the process. Look at Diabetic. One of the #1 killers in America and one of the #1 killers here at Cedar Creek Nuclear Power Plant with a nice triple kill. Diabetic saves the round for Zomblers there. Cuts into the lead. 2-4 for Able Esports. Great job there from Zomblers.
Yeah, at least they're going to stem the flow of rounds going in the hands of Able Esports. This is pretty concerning that Able are already this close to hitting their 50-50 mark where they're expected to get, which is 6 rounds coming out of this T side. They only need 2 more rounds in this half, and we're literally only close to half done with it, so plenty of time for Able to do some terrible damage to Zomblers, especially with this good util placement on the outside of the map. Diabetic, though, he's getting a little bit of a boost, seeing if anyone's going to be audacious enough to come up through the door, but with no one peeking through the hole that he's made, he's just going to smoke it off and wait for their opponents to appear.
Now Zomblers trying to get back into this thing. They do have the advantage of being on the CT side, but Able Esports have that little bit of a lead here. And honestly, if they can find 5-6 rounds here from the T side, honestly, they're going to be in a great position once we swap sides here. So Zomblers really has to kind of get it in gear if they really want to put the pressure here on Able Esports.
Yeah, one thing I do have to say is that if I had to make a suggestion for Zomblers, I think that their outside holds have been a little bit lacking so far. A lot of the great pushes from Able have been there, but it appears that when they go on the inside, Able has not been having as good of a time, as we do see them get dropped already. Yuumi is going to be getting a little bit caught out, though, so Able will be turning a little bit of a negative into a positive as they get this plant down.
I was getting ready to say Explicit has Vipem kind of at a bad angle here, so Vipem will fall. And I believe it's D1. I think that's what everyone is saying here on my side instead of Diabetic here. But D1 and Panda going at it here. 2v3 retake, but honestly, at this point, I don't think they're going to attempt this. They'll probably save what they have here with the cash being as low as it is. Just going to hold their positions, maybe get back into the CT spawn and save the AKs if they can. Oh, nope, it'll be the T spawn. I apologize. I'm reading the map wrong.
Well, either way, it's a spawn that they're going to be running up into. You're right in premise of the fact that they're going to be looking to save in this round. There's not really a hope in the world for them to get this out of the hands of Able Esports. They're not even going to really try because they are so low health to, especially with getting so close to the bomb like that, they're not going to be looking to even try and get some exit frags. So, yeah, Zomblers, this is a difficult start for them to say the least, but definitely. I mean, there is definitely still time for them to come back in it. Like I said, their outside game has been a little bit lacking. A lot of Able Esports pushes have been utilizing the outside push, whether they go down through secret and get the bomb plant that way, or they go in for the backdoor on Zomblers. Zomblers did win one of the rounds while they were doing that, but Able Esports has by and large gotten a lot of value for their outside of the map control, and that seems to be something that Zomblers is trying to address now with sending Vipem up.
And they've got 2 AKs that they were able to save from last round. Otherwise, it'll be USPs and a Deagle here for JR Nasty and Vipem. Like you said, Zomblers trying to assert themselves outside, and look at this. They're stacked up. They've only got one person inside the building. Everyone else getting ready to make that push on the outside here. If they can maybe find one or two, but they'll go ahead and have Chuck get up top of the silo. Maybe do a little bit of overwatching here with the bomb in hand. Let's see if they can find some picks.
Vipem is in a great position here to do some damage. I don't know if this is a common spot to be holding up close with a pistol, but I mean, he could still get good value for it. They're not going to see it coming, getting shot. Two of them right in the back, but only one kill. Still immense damage done to MNZ, and it will tee up JR Nasty for a nice little follow-up shot with the USP. One shot is all it takes, and Kizzy getting back raged here. So things quickly falling apart for Able Esports as they're down to an op and an AK.
Yeah, a huge round here for Zomblers. I mean, already in the positive. They started with 2 AKs. They've added one that they were able to upgrade as well. If JR Nasty can possibly get an AK or even that AWP, what a huge turnaround it would be for Zomblers. I mean, really cutting in to a little bit of the economy that Able Esports have. I mean, they still have a little cash in the back pocket unless you're Kizzy. But even so, Able Esports, this has kind of rocked them. They're kind of undecisive on where they want to go. They're taking a little careful. Trying to make their way back to the ramp, looking like they'll probably push down into the B bomb site, and here we go. And they're going to fully commit. They'll give away their audio at least. And from the looks of it, it looks like they'll have an empty bomb site. Oh!
I was about to say the only one there is going to be Yumi, and he does enough, opening the door and shutting down Chuck is going to be D1. So recovering the op as well. So that's actually a really devastating round for Able Esports. And if there's anything that can be a catalyst for Zomblers to be getting back in this game, not just shaking the confidence, but boosting their economy with the op, not having to buy an extra really expensive gun, this is going to be it right here, my friend.
This is true. And Zomblers really showing, while you need to clear every single corner, that pistol kill on the outside really kind of, like you said, the catalyst, honestly, for that round was catching them off guard. They really didn't expect anybody to be there, and they weren't ready for it, and then everything kind of fell apart as well. Zomblers able to hit some key shots here. They cut this lead down to 2. Now have turned that momentum on its side. You've got a pistol for Kizzy, a MAC-10 for MNZ, AKs for everyone else, and look at this, Yumi and Kizzy going at it. Some rounds landed down range as Kizzy's down to 22 HP, as Zomblers trying to fight back into this thing and tie it up.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Able have been a little bit more reserved than they have been in the previous rounds. They're being very picky with their util placements. They're going to still throw things on the outside of the map to give the air and the appearance that they are going that way, but jig is up. Yumi is going to be seeing them all flying towards him. The Opper is still close enough to come and help him if he does need it, but it doesn't appear that he needs it too badly. Now turn the corner. J Nasty has got the angle on lockdown, but a properly placed molly will be forcing him off of it. So Able Esports, it appears that they're actually not going to take control over the ramp, and they are going to be instead making their way back towards the middle of the map and the trophy.
I tell you what, every time it goes to Chuck and he's lining up that smoke, I feel like my screen is frozen. He just carefully lines it up to the pixel there before he throws it. But here we go. Zomblers with the 4v3 man advantage. Able Esports taking their time, making their way into the A bomb site here. Now look at this, Zomblers outside. They're gonna have to push in here as Able Esports, and look at this, D1 leading the charge, gets rid of Chuck. MNZ swings around and he'll trade out D1. It's down to Explicit and MNZ gets rid of Panda. JR Nasty from above, he'll find Explicit as well, and it's a 2v1. MNZ, right move there, honestly.
Huge. Has a huge kill to be getting there. You put it into a 1v1 situation. JR Nasty can go for the defuse if he wants to. Running a little bit low on time. MNZ's just got to shoulder peek this every once in a while. Make sure he's not going for the defuse. And it appears that he is not gutsy enough to be going for this defuse. Does hop on it now. He really has to start it now. Otherwise, it's going to be over. MNZ playing that absolutely perfectly. 4K and 1v1 for the win. Hitting the mark that they need to for Able Esports. And knocking Zomblers right back down into a save round.
Yeah, I mean, just a beautiful play, honestly, though. I mean, making the right decision there to get rid of the closest threat, really put some distance in between you and the Opper there, and then retake that fight 1v1. You don't even have to really peek it often. Like you said, just shoulder peek it every now and then. Make sure that he's not defusing the bomb. Absolutely played to perfection there for MNZ.
Yeah, Zomblers are going to be on a little bit of a disjointed buy. Vipem's more or less going to be at the mercy of one of his teammates to get a kill and find him a gun. Otherwise, not going to have the most amount of impact in this round with just a 5-7 and some headgear. No util either. And just also waiting to see if somebody will come in through the connector doors. But either ways, Able Esports They are much more tame in their approach. Much like last round, slow and steady did win them the race last time, so we're going to see if that does work for them once again. Zomblers, in the meantime, are taking up a lot of really close positions, as you can see on the outside of the map and on the inside as well. They actually don't have entirely too many people on the outside of the map. Now that I look at it, the minimap was just lying to me, so it is a little bit open for Able Esports. But first blood will come up close and personal. Mac 10 versus Op in the hands of JR Nasty.
And when it comes down to pixels, the Op's going to win that every single time. Although Panda, oh man, I tell you what, if he had X-ray vision, could have had a huge play there. D1 though in the process, able to find kids. Look at this! Panda and JR Nasty combined for 3 kills there to just completely wipe Able's push onto the A site. And Zomblers, the buy pays off, Tamika.
Yeah, it does. And unfortunately, Able Esports, they just walked into like a killing circle. The outside was a little bit, it was a little bit more up for grabs, but I guess they just didn't think that Zomblers would be having that much presence up and on the inside, and so yeah, unfortunately that gamble did not pay off for them, and it's going to cost them a lot of money that they had in the previous round. They are going to get a very disjointed buy-in. Ooh, a lot of damage being done by the Util, trying to fly in, but that's a lot of death and damage for just one kill. They are going to be able to get a kill onto the Opper, though, at the very least, but it will easily be recovered by Panda. So really, no harm, no foul in that round for Zomblers.
Oh, not at all. I wanted the 4K, though. I wanted to see it so bad, but just being taken away from us. But hey, props to Zomblers for fighting their way right back into this thing. They've cut the lead down to 1. Still not in the greatest position, honestly, if we're talking about being on the CT side here on Nuke, but doing what they need to do to cut this thing down to 1 here. Honestly, if they can win these next 4 rounds, get to a 9 and 6, they'll be in a great position. Well, they'll be in an okay position.
Where they want to be. Yeah, that's where they want to be. Yeah, Able Esports, they have a really great opportunity standing where they're at right now to get some bonus rounds going into the CT side, which would really hurt Zomblers, especially if they end up losing the pistol round. But ooh, speaking of the outside of the map and not being held by Zomblers, it appears that they're going for a similar hold on the inside. But ooh, so unfortunate for Explicit, literally getting Vipem down to literally nothing. But unfortunately, the last shot just did not hit. So they are going to still be without a kill, but the outside of the map still will be utilized in their favor. They're going to come around the back of Yumi in an angle that he does not quite expect, but Panda gonna flank their flank from the same position. Either way, Able Esports are going to be down in the B-bomb site, already where they want to be, and they have got the plant down.
I don't think we've seen a successful retake yet from Zomblers here on the B-bomb site. D1 is able to find front, but Chuck gonna go ahead and trade him out. JR Nasty's there, and now it's all down to Kizzy. So honestly, the best chance that we've seen from Zomblers all night to take this bomb site right back from Able Esports. Although Kizzy with the A1S is not gonna let it down lightly.
You can do it.
Oh my goodness, this is a very doable scenario, and it's done. Kizzy, 4 kills there, stands alone on the B bomb site and shut Zomblers down. Oh my goodness, what a detrimental round there.
What an absolute legend, Kizzy. That was heroic in the extreme, and I'm sure that Zomblers are going to be saying pause right after that one.
Yeah.
That is exactly what they've done. And so, not only with that, are Able gonna win a round that Zomblers did have an advantage in going into that that post plant, but yeah, they also are one step closer to converting the half, and they've already gotten 1 bonus round. Able Esports, it's looking pretty good, and another reason for the pause is also the buying situation. If you look at it, JR Nasty's got a decent amount of money, and so does D1, but no one else can really buy much of anything, so they're probably thinking of what they want to be coming into this round with. You don't want to just be giving up the half victory towards Able Esports, but also you don't want to be potentially giving yourself up to losing just more than 8 rounds. So Zomblers, they are going to bite the bullet on this one and go for another save just to make sure that they don't lose even more rounds other than more than 8.
They just love making liars out of you. As soon as you said save, they went ahead and bought A1S's, MP9s, and FMON. So Zomblers continuing into their gambling ways, as we've seen kind of all. Now it's worked out for them in the past here, so maybe they just feel more comfortable with the kind of a mixed bag of weapons. But front M all the way down to the outside, no one has any keys on him, but as soon as I say it, the caster curse almost, as JR Nasty takes a peek and he'll find front M.
Yep, and so far Zomblers, they are going to be having themselves a little bit of a good advantage. Still no real control over the outside, but Able isn't really looking to take advantage of that just yet. They're mostly pathing their way towards Yumi on ramp. Explicit doing a little bit of scouting on the outside, and it appears that they have made their final decision to go towards Yumi on the ramp, or they could still make their way up through lobby and go for a push straight up to the bomb site, which would be very ambitious considering the position that Zomblers are in and how it went for them the last time they tried it. But either way, they do have the util to execute this very well. They're smoking out and they're getting all the fires in the proper positions. They are going to also find Yumi, so their pathway is actually going to be open towards the B bomb site now instead.
I tell you what, speaking of ambitious, that was a very ambitious play by Yumi, and it's going to cost him as he'll fall. But look at this, Vipum trying to make the flank behind, and Chuck's there to contend against it. Now it's a 4v3 scenario for Able. Zomblers, a man down for the retake here. Panda evens the odds with a kill onto Kizzy. Through the door, Explicit landed some damage as JR Nasty's down to 32. D1 and a 1v1 against Explicit. He'll win it. 3v2 scenario for Zomblers, trying their best here to get back into this thing and cut the lead down to 1 before giving the advantage to Able Esports before we even reach halftime.
I've seen this movie before, my friend. It does not end very good for Zomblers as MNZ, just barely. JR Nasty gonna be able to get this one. The diffuser, actually, it's gonna be pretty close, but I do think he did get it just in the nick of time without the diffuser in order to get it in their favor. So Zomblers, they will be hitting the 6, and that's actually a pretty solid round coming out of them considering what they came into it with.
Oh yeah. Have you ever seen the Rocky movies? You know, like Rocky 1, Apollo Creed got the win. And then, you know, Rocky 2, Rocky takes. That's what we've seen here. You know, the 1v4.
I just realized that for some reason, it had been using my not my microphone, but my camera this whole time. I cannot believe it, dude. I just saw the chat saying I sound like I'm talking into a tin can, and absolutely, it probably did sound like that. But it should be sounding good now. But yeah, outside of the map, going to be given a little bit more credence by Zomblers, making sure that Able don't try and do anything funny on the outside with this pistol buy. But yeah, still holistically looking good for Zomblers coming into this round. Their opponents don't have a whole lot of util, so they have to pretty much commit to this push with this committal that they made for this util.
Oh, Kizzy just able to find Vipum there. He'll be down to 19 HP, but it was enough to get the job done. So Able Esports trying to find that 8th round here before we swap sides. Zomblers just trying to tie this thing up and force an ultimate round 15. And now they'll take positions. We've seen this kind of all game long where Zomblers, they like to sit tight. They like to be disciplined. They like to let Able Esports come to them. And it's resulted into some early round or some easy rounds, but Able Esports taking their time now down to the outside. And it looks like they're going to come up from behind here, as it'll be only D1 to defend against this push from Able Esports.
Yep. Apparently I'm having a little bit of audio difficulties. Will you take over for me for just 1 second while I fix this?
No worries. Yumi gonna find front on the outside here as Able Esports. They're gonna go to Old Faithful down to the B bomb site. They'll go ahead and swap bombs. MNZ will take the lead onto site. Chuck's there with the Tech 9. A1S in the hand of MZZ. AK for Explicit, and then a Deagle for Kizzy. So in all sense of the word, on paper, Zomblers should have this round. Able Esports, 8 seconds left. They've got the bomb down, and down the vents we go. Explicit finds a quick kill on the JR Nasty. That's huge, as now the numbers starting to tilt into the hands of Able Esports. MNZ finds Yumi as well. Chuck's there. Panda didn't clear the angle. It's all down to D1. He'll find Explicit, but it's a 1v3 scenario. Make it 1v2. D1 doing his best here and runs away from the bomb site. I mean, he's only has 15 HP. It's a smart move, honestly. Yeah, it's a smart move. But the fighter in me wants him to hit that 1v2 and win the round. But honestly, it's a smart play with just having, no cash in the bank as well. So D1 is going to walk away, save this AK. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, Able Esports will have the advantage going into the half here. 8-6, might even be 9-6, unless Zomblers has something to say.
Yeah, this is going to be the final round of the half. So Zomblers, literally no reason to be saving right now. They are going to have a little bit of good things coming into this round, but not a whole lot. This is going to be a little bit desperate for them, I do have to say. Able with pretty much every single advantage. They've got util advantage. They've got rifle advantage. They've got the op. And so, assuming they play their cards right and they don't fall for something like a guy's sitting in a corner like they did the last time. They should be looking pretty good going out of this half.
Should be, but we've seen Zomblers be thrifty before as well. They do have an AK in the hands of D1. He has the solo kit, and then an MP9 here for Vipem. You do have JR Nasty and Vipem kind of holding it down here from Secret and Garage. JR Nasty should have one if he can line it up. He did some damage, but couldn't take the time to really focus on the headshot there. So MNZ will be down to 56 HP, but the jig is up. They know where they are. JR Nasty finds Chuck, but Front able to trade him out.
I mean, that's good value. Also, Yubi finding that one is also great value, especially considering what they came into this round with. So, Zomblers slowly but surely coming back into this round. Ooh, a good trade. Good thing that Frontum was there, but still not in a great spot in order to win this round. Out of nowhere, Zomblers have gotten themselves a really great shot at winning this one. Frontum, I've seen him with the op. He's pretty dang nasty with it, and he's going to be looking to use it in the best possible position for it. And that is up in heaven. It appears that Yumi is ready for him to go up on top of the balcony from the ladder, but it's it's still, knowing doesn't always necessarily help here, Angel, as Frontum, he hits some good quick scopes and some snapshots, so we'll see if he can pull it off again.
This is true, although the upgraded AK is going to help here for D1. Oh, but that's a great way to enter. Frontum finds Yumi. I think he spotted the other one. Falls, lands the shot. Now it's a very doable scenario. Frontum goes in to plant the bomb. Panda only has the deagle in hand, picks up the kit. Oh,
no way.
Can't land the shot. Oh, my goodness. Panda, it took him a couple, but lands the shot here and saves the half for Zomblers here. It'll be 7-8 as we swap sides here, Comica. My goodness, what an ending to that half.
I almost died. I almost died watching Front M almost get the ace for that, dude. Oh my god. You gotta be feeling good coming out as if you're able.
Oh yeah.
You convert the hap on the T side, which is not something that's super duper easy to do. You almost got an ace with the op at the end of the game to... It's still a great way to end off the half, even though it isn't with a win. So Able Esports coming into this next half with their heads held high. If they can win this pistol round, especially, I'm sure they're gonna be feeling super extra good, getting up to 9 over their opponents, and it would put Zomblers in a really difficult position where if you do a force buy, then and you lose it, you're more or less dead and guaranteed to go down like 3 rounds. So Able Esports can really threaten Zomblers immensely with a win in this pistol.
Oh yeah, 100%, and it just really forced that pressure onto them. I think Zomblers knows right now that, hey, we've gotten it close. It's 8-7, but we really should have done a little bit better on the CT side. So it all comes down to kind of these early rounds here. Who's going to gain that early momentum? Because if you're Zomblers, if you win the pistol round now, you've tied it up. Now you've got a couple rounds to take back the advantage here. And if you can find some early rounds, and we've seen them be so thrifty as well, if they can continue that, I still think Zomblers is in this thing.
Ooh, almost with a double lineup there, Kizzy. He still will get one. The flash will hit, but unfortunately for Zomblers, the rest of the players are there. D1 is going to be able to get a solid kill there, as they actually deal quite well with the players coming in from the CT spawn from Able Esports. Chuck is a little bit solo dolo down bottom, and Kizzy forced to retreat off the ramp. Zomblers can make pretty good educated guesses as to where the other player is. They know exactly where Kizzy is, and instead of trying to go for him in his defensive position, they're instead going to rotate over the B-bomb site and get a free plant. This is still something that can be won by Able Esports, especially if they catch them on the way out. They know exactly where D1 is, putting some good shots on the Vipem, huge, and it's all onto Kizzy once again. Sees 2 people down below, and just like that, he's going to hop right on in. No diffuser. He's going to try and get a bait out here, and it appears that they are going to be jumping at him, but will they be able to get the kills? That is the real question. Answer is yes.
The teamwork comes into play there, so numbers just being a little too much. Although one lucky shot could have changed that all there, but Zomblers, indeed, they'll pick up the pistol round. They will indeed tie this thing up at 8 apiece, so doing what they needed to do to build those blocks to success here on the T side. We saw Able be very successful with 8 rounds on the T side as well. So Zomblers, now that they have the advantage, on paper again, should have an easier time here, taking a 9th round and getting into the lead as well. But let's see if they can actually execute.
Ooh, Kizzy.
Oh!
Knows that there's a guy running around the corner, goes in for a swing, but huge start for JR Nasty. In front of him, the only survivor. This could be a deadly round into the hands of Zomblers. There you go. There's your 9th round, and it's going to be a perfect one at that. So, Able Esports, it was a save round to say, well, I'll say at least that much in support of Able Esports. It's not necessarily like a round that you're typically expected to do well and especially up against a whole bunch of rifles, but not getting a single kill is going to diminish the effectiveness of that save round. You're kind of depending on getting at least some kills in that in order to boost up your economy going into this one, so it's going to force them to downgrade a little bit. Shotgun XM coming out from Able Esports, and I'm curious to see where MNZ does decide to play this.
A missed molly there. It does a little bit of damage, but nothing really to write home about. So Kizzy, we'll have to kind of go back to the drawing board on that molly lineup there. But nonetheless, Zomblers trying to compound now on their round win, and JR Nasty with a nice shot on Kizzy there will lead the way for Zomblers. Down into secret we go. So looking like this is going to be a B hit for Zomblers if they can get this bomb down. JR Nasty, he's defending from garage here. Oh, he's spotted somebody. Panda with the Max 10 able to get MNZ. D1's gonna find front him as well. And Able Esports, they don't have an answer. Look at this. Yumi in a very nice position as well. Could we see back-to-back flawless rounds?
It's quite possible, and I'm starting to get a little bit concerned about that. Chuck, sole survivor, minute left, unlikely to be able to save this. And Panda, he's going on the search for him, seeing if he is, somewhere around trying to hide away. Either way, Zomblers, they've got the plan. They can now have the benefit of going on the hunt, but the hunt finds them instead. Chuck can be able to get at least a kill on Panda, so denying the perfect 2 times in a row. And so, might even be able to get out of this now with his rifle. Zomblers are still going to be searching high and low for him, but not devoting themselves as much to it, as they don't want to meet a similar fate as Panda.
And Chuck's just going to try to survive the most he can here with the M4 in hand. And Zomblers doing very well to kind of not pursue him and try to save what they can here. And it's just a smart play from them also. You don't want to lose anybody. Save what rifles you can here, not to mention the util as well. Zomblers looking really good here from the T side. They've won 3 in a row. Flawless so far from the second half. And they will be rewarded with a 2-round cushion. So, Comica, we're not seeing kind of the typical CT-sided swing of Nuke. We're kind of seeing a back and forth here between Zomblers and Able Esports.
Yeah, and usually when I see things happen like this, it's usually because of a lack of ability to hold the outside of the map. That typically is the hardest thing to do on the CT side, and it's where the Ts do get most of their benefit from. And it appears that Zomblers are going to try and do that exact thing before our very eyes right now. The cross is going to be covered, but it's by pistols, so I don't think Zomblers are going to be too very worried about it. You do have to be a little bit cautious of Chuck here. But yeah, smoke gonna be going down up close and personal, and they know exactly where he's at. Aid trying to come on in for Chuck, but yeah, too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen, and they will all get mowed down. So Zomblers, effective outside push once again.
Team 1 adding to the stats. JR Nasty will add 1 as well. He'll be dropped to 69 HP. MNZ coming in from secret. Panda's there, and he'll land the shot. So Able Esports crumbling here on CT as it's 5-1 explicit with a pistol in hand. Now wins the 1v1 against Panda, but Yumi is there to land the rounds in the back, and almost another flawless round here from Zomblers gives them an 11-8 lead. But now Able Esports with money in the bank, they're going to go ahead and buy up. They'll have some A1Ss, some M4s, an AWP here for front end, and I heard you say just how nasty he was, and we actually got to see it a little earlier. Let's see if that's the difference maker here.
Yeah, it's going to be the first time that Able is going to be having an op on this side, and it should definitely help them keep control over the outside or control over the ramp wherever they do decide to put it. It's going to take pressure off that side and allow Able to focus on another part of the map that could be lacking in some aspect. Able, I do have to say that they have been getting a little bit aggressive on a lot of the earlier rounds that they were losing, and that gave a lot of rounds to Zomblers, something I saw them struggle with last night as well. But I'm sure that they're going to be playing a little bit more restrained. I'm just worried that the earlier rounds are going to come back to bite them, and looking at the amount of economy that Zomblers has built up because of it, that it's going to be tough for Able to break them out of this.
100%. Zomblers again taking their time one by one, really trying to isolate Able Esports, find some picks, and then make their push onto the site a little bit easier. JR Nasty all the way into Secret already, watching that angle. And like you said, Able Esports really just has not been able to defend kind of against the outside push very well from Zomblers. They've kind of been able to do what they want as far as getting into Secret or rotating around and having that garage control as well and flanking behind Able Esports.
Yeah, it does appear that, Yumi just swinging wildly is going to be able to get a kill onto MNZ while things are going down elsewhere. Explicit is going to be taking a little bit of a gunfight outside, it does seem like, but either way, they do have a player that has made his way down on the inside to the ground floor through Secret, and so they should be able to get a solid rotation here through the vents. Frontum getting caught in the meantime, and dang, it is all going down. I wish Auto Direct would bring me there, but go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. I was gonna say we might see a nightmare here again for Zomblers as Able Esports when they gain that Raptor control. Look at Kizzy going off, and Explicit indeed. From the other side, we'll find Yumi. So B bomb site again, kind of rearing its ugly head for Zomblers. That has been the pain and the thorn in their side as well. So Able Esports finding their first round here of the second half. And as they will cut, excuse me, that was their second round. I apologize. No, it was their third or their first. I apologize. I'm getting all lost in the sauce here. 9-11 the score, dude. Regardless. Lead cut down to 2.
Yeah, first round and a half for Able Esports, and we'll be getting them an op right back in their hands to go up against the prowess of JR Nasty. Looking to get a load of a cheeky peek through the squeaky door that always gets blown up. MNZ is going to be smoking it right back on up again. So, yeah, Zomblers, they have a lot of capacity to push up here. Able Esports, the fact that they were able to win the last round is huge because you look at how much they have now compared to the previous round, it's not as good, especially when it comes to some of these specific players. Even though JR Nasty has quite a lot still saved up, one of his weak links of his teammates could either completely get rid of the money that they've saved up, or it will force them to save in order to make sure that they don't go in with a disjointed buy. So Able Esports, this is a big round. If they win it and win it effectively, they could be really exploiting Panda's lack of good monetary standing, we'll say.
Oh. So Frontim takes a sentry position here close to the CT spawn, and he'll find Vipum, who was lurking. Yumi, though, in from the hut. He'll find one, but Kizzy trades him out. D1 will find Kizzy as well, but MNC doing some work. D1 trades all around here on the site. D1 gets another one, and now it's D1 against Chuck. AWP in hand. No, switches to the AK. Chuck coming in from the opposite side. I don't think D1 knows where he is, though. That's the problem. Oh, somehow wins the round. 4 kills there for D1. Saves it for Zomblers, and they extend the lead back to 12-9. Oh, I don't know how he won that fight.
Oh God, D1 living up to the namesake. That is Division 1 level play right there. He's 22-11, solid as it gets in the 1v1. Wasn't even necessarily in the best position to win it. He was walking up and his opponent was swinging on him. He knew exactly where he was, but he just had the better shots in the moment. So that is going to be a huge round that goes in the hands of Zomblers. Could be one of the big nails in the coffin for Able Esports as they're getting swung on very hard. Respect is not really being given now anymore, as Able Esports are going to get forced off of the A-bomb site.
And Vipum's got 3 here. Needs 2 for the ace. But JR Nasty quickly is going to shut that down. So no ace in hand. D1 on the other end with the AK. He'll find Explicit. And another quick round there for Zomblers. Yes, it was a save round for Able Esports, but you have to execute as well if you're on the T side. Zomblers has made quite the noise here from the T side as they are 3 rounds away from taking home the win here against Able Esports.
That is true, and Zomblers is teed up to be one of Able's more difficult opponents of the season, so if they can at least make it a little bit closer, or even there's still obviously the time to make a comeback here. They've got a solid buy off here, great util, great guns, and so yeah, they're not necessarily down and out just yet. There's a very real possibility that they could still make Zomblers pay if they are get a little bit too arrogant, too big for their britches here, Angel.
That is always the case. It's never over until it is over. So Zomblers needing to just kind of put it, and not, I wouldn't say autopilot, but keep doing the things that brought you to the dance that are getting you success, and make Able Esports change their game to be able to stop you. That's the biggest thing here. Zomblers just taking control here from the T side, and it's their game so far. Their biggest lead in the evening, a 4-round cushion. Now just taking their time, maybe putting some anxiety on Able Esports, making them think that they're not catching something. You know, they haven't seen anything yet, so they have no knowledge or information either, and leaving this down to kind of a last-second push.
I mean, last-second pushes, sometimes teams can thrive in the chaos. Haven't seen a whole lot of super chaotic situations in this game just yet. It's been very methodical, and we might just see one coming up soon. Time is ticking on down, and they're starting to ask some questions with some util on the inside of the A bomb site here. Going to be blowing open that door, flashing in, and in they go. Viper going to be the first one to go on in. But it appears that they're not quite going for the full committal just yet. MNZ getting a little bit beat upside the head, but it's actually going to be taking quite an aggressive angle on them. Look at this. Wow. They're going straight on in for him, giving him no quarter. And they completely take down the entirety of the Zomblers team. Flashes can go both ways through these doors, and it negatively affects Zomblers this time. Vipum's sole survivor with 5 seconds left and 2 HP. Going to see if he can do literally anything in this round, and can't quite.
So much time being wasted there. I applaud the efforts of Able Esports, able to stay cool, calm, and collected. They were ready for the push, use those flashes to their advantage, like you said, and they will be rewarded with another round here. Cuts the lead down to 3, and now Zomblers, I imagine we'll probably see a pretty aggressive take here after that.
Yeah, I am a little bit cautious, though, because Panda, I think his teammate bought up an AK, or at least he's not able to get a full buy up with his teammates. So they are going to be down one rifle over their opponents. A huge shot to the face for Frontum. That's their up or down. And just like that, Zomblers are going to get first blood with no real capacity of getting a back frag. But will they try and force it? Doesn't seem quite like it. Outside of the map, still open and available for them. But either way you cut it, it's going to be a difficult push for Zomblers.
Panda recollecting that AWP. Now upgrades from the pistol, so maybe that's just what they had in mind. You know, hey, if I die, you can pick up the op, you're fine. But anyway, on to the outside here for Zomblers. They've had a lot of struggles going down to the B bomb site. They've been very successful on A, but look at this. Explicit from Secret. No one clears the angle. Explicit able to find D1, and that's a huge impact kill for Able Esports. You take out the top fragger for Zomblers, and now leave it all down to Panda, Vipum, and Yumi. And Panda's not the original opper here for Zomblers either, so let's see if he secondaries really well, or if he's just kind of in a save mood.
Yeah, I mean, credit to Able Esports for not budging, even though they got a lot of intel that their opponents are on the outside of the map. They're playing for the rotation here, and they're expecting it. Chuck in a great position, teed up to do some damage as soon as they turn this corner. They don't really have anything to do it. They have to go for the face check, and Chuck, fortunately for them, misses his shot. So they're going to be able to get up close and personal. Chuck going to be missing his follow-up shot and gets flamed off the angle. They're actually going in a little bit aggro for him. Holding the angle, nope, they're just going to be going straight on in for the bomb site, but already rotated there is going to be one of the players. Explicit does get found out, and Zomblers racing up against time. They're going to be dropping it for their teammate of Panda, but got to be careful for this door. Busting open like the Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah, 80 goes! MNZ completely demolishing that push. Able Esports finding a way back in. Double op setup for the win.
I don't like that planned position. I don't like it at all. They had already cleared the left side of the site. They opened the door. They knew it was safe. And when they planted the bomb, they left themselves open for that push. Able just opened the door. Knock, knock, like you said. Oh, yeah. And they come around and cut the lead down to 2. And it'll be a save round now for Zomblers. They're a little in trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, I do want to give a little bit of... I don't know, a little bit of leeway to Zomblers on that plant position. They were really, really running out of time. And so they just pretty much had to get that bomb down. Anywhere would do in the position that they were in there with the time that they had left. So I'm not going to criticize the bomb plant position too much, even though it is what led to their ultimate downfall, unfortunately for them. They are going to look to get a push on the outside, but Able Esports, I do have to say, oh, that's a little bit of a rough flash from Explicit, but they're out. Regardless, their outside control has been pretty good. Now in this pistol round, it should be just as good.
And Chuck and MNZ Explicit, they'll all find one. Ooh, what a flick from Chuck. And he'll find another one as well. Vipum will fall. And off the 3 kills from Chuck, 1 from MNZ and 1 from Explicit. Able Esports climbing back into this thing. as they've cut this lead down to 1. So like we said earlier in the cast, it's not over until it's over. Zomblers had done a phenomenal job up until this point, really setting the pace, but now Able Esports has kind of found the read. They found they're comfortable holding, and they're one away from tying this thing up.
Yeah, Zomblers now on the downgrades. They're going all in to make sure that they don't lose their lead against the double op setup. It's gonna be a difficult one, I do have to say, but they're going straight on, and I do respect it. Getting the flash hit though, and so they will lose one pretty early on. Still up top are going to be a lot of the Able Esports players. Molly on point though, but because he does run right through and hit Vipe him, channeling in the middle of the map is going to be explicit. So difficult spot for Zomblers. They're literally surrounded by opponents on all sides. JR Nasty is going to go back to get the better of explicit, and for the meantime, Able Esports are going to be kept at bay.
And they'll drop one AWP. That's a huge one, but now they've got front M with the other one in hand. JR comes in from HUD. I think he sees the head, and he does. Takes the extra second to line it up and gets rid of Kizzy with one shot. So 2v2 scenario here. Zomblers trying to extend their lead back out and almost have that overtime guarantee. Front M finds D1. JR Nasty lines them up, gets rid of front M and Chuck. And indeed, Zomblers takes a sigh of relief there. They did what they needed to do, and they are one round away from the match point, guaranteeing at least overtime. Comica, my goodness, what a match this has turned out to be.
Yeah, it's a close one, dude. I was pretty much expecting that from how close the first half was, but I mean, Able Esports, they did come into this with the advantage. I do have to say that. They came into their CT side with the advantage of having converted the half. And Zomblers, they are also at a little bit of a disadvantage economy-wise. 3 Galils, excuse me. But that doesn't mean that they can't win. He's gonna turn back to explicit. Literally the worst time possible, man. And they lose first blood as well as control for the outside.
Unfortunate scenario there, but that gives the advantage to Able Esports currently. Panda could have had a spot on the front end, and now look at this. Able Esports, I mean, I get it. They have the man advantage. They back off a little bit here, but they had the bomb down, and they really could have set up a trap there. But for the moment, Zomblers is able to regain control of the bomb. They'll collect it. They'll rotate back, reconvene, and confirm on what they want to do moving forward. A lot at stake here in this round. 60 seconds left.
Yep, and it does appear that they're deciding to make their way towards Chuck, and we know just how deadly this guy can be. He's 18 and 16 right now, but I feel like that stat line doesn't do him justice. Front M now coming to give him a little bit of support, so great hold for the ramp. There you go. Front M taking down D1 pretty much instantaneously. Molly going out and Bullet going out. They're going to completely take down that hold of the ramp down to B. Going to cause a lot of cause for concern for Able Esports, as they're now going to have to go for this retake. Already getting a strong rotation to help explicit out. And the push is coming out slowly for Zomblers, so this gives time for Able to adjust.
Yeah, but I don't know if you see what I see, but they've decided to actually not go down here. But look at this. Kizzy's in position, sees the head, lines it up. Yumi falls. And now here comes Zomblers. Onto site we go. Can he win the 1v1? Vipem trying to save the day, but MNZ from the outside swings in as well. They get the bomb down, but MNZ finds Vipem, and now it's a 1v3 for Panda. Drops one, reloads it, possibly gets into cover as well, but here comes explicit from heaven, from the rafters, lands the shot on the Panda. I think they should be able to get this defused. Yeah, they got enough time. Explicit has a kit as well. They're just kind of going through at the grocery store, kind of getting their shopping done, but Able Esports will take the round here. They've cut this lead down to 1 again, and back and forth we go.
Yeah, just doing a little bit of grocery shopping as to what guns are available. They got plenty of time. They're like, yeah, I got a diffuser. It's no real problem. But Zomblers, it is a problem for them, as they are going to be completely without efficacy to buy up here. You got 2 players that could get a decent buy up, but you've got 2 players that can't literally buy anything. So Zomblers are going to be on a save once again, and this is the time for Able Esports to get the game back in their favor. Really, this should be a round that goes in their hands, and if they can just deny as many kills as possible, the Zomblers could still be struggling when it comes to the next round.
Vipem takes a huge hit there. He'll be down to 55 HP. JR takes some early damage. Also, he's down to 64. Zomblers, you can't write them off just yet. They've had a phenomenal T side, but is it too little too late here? JR Nasty with a team kill on a Viper. Explicit's going to make Yumi pay as well. Kizzy gets one and a flawless round from Able Esports. We'll tie this thing up at 14 apiece, and this is it, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest round of the evening, as whoever wins it will have the advantage, or sorry, will have the at least guarantee of halftime and really put that pressure on the opposite team.
Yeah, and if you're Zomblers, you really need to win this round because your capacity to buy is just gone out the window once again. That save, it was good in that it got you enough to play this round. But if you lose this one, you lose it badly, then it could be just as quickly over. Front M is going to get a little bit of pressure on the outside just by util, though. It appears that the main focus is going to be on the inside. At least Zomblers has not gone for a full committal just yet. But either way, this is, like you said, a very, very pivotal round, and the first blood will dictate who is likely to win it.
Front M trying to land a shot with the AWP, and he will. Vipem will fall. He'll have to watch from the sidelines. Oh, and a rare miss there from Front M. Will it cost him? No one has traded out yet. He is down to 50 HP, though, so we head down to Explicit. Now on over to Chuck, and Yumi is going to fall to MNZ. 3v5. Chuck is able to find D1 as well. 2 members left here for Zomblers, and now you got to start thinking about possibly saving Kamika.
He's so dead. JR Nasty. He is so stuck in their spawn. He has no real way of getting back. It's going to be difficult. The idea was that they're going to try and go for the Opera, but I mean, the angle is on lockdown. You've got Front M who's watching it. You've got the crossfire covered, and now he's got the bomb. He's stuck in his opponent's spawn. If you try to go for any of the bomb sites, you are going to die. So JR Nasty, he's in a really difficult spot where he's got to take a face check onto the enemy Opera, trying to get a little bit of a line of sight onto Chuck. Doesn't appear that Front M. Oh, there you go. That's a huge blow from Panda. He will get instantly traded back on out. Know exactly where JR Nasty is. He has no capacity to plant from here. So as long as Able Esports doesn't throw themselves at him, but I mean, I guess even if you throw yourselves at him, he's got his knife out. So Able Esports will be able to get themselves on to map point. And just like that, look at the economy for Zomblers. It is in shambles. It is devastated. D1 cannot buy up. So what are you going to do here for Zomblers? That is exactly what they're pausing to find out.
Yeah, well, you know what? If I was a gambling man, I don't know if I'd have enough nerve to gamble against them. We've seen them be efficient with mixed bags. We've seen them win rounds with MAC-10s from Osses, Scouts even. So I haven't counted them out yet, but on a paper, Able Esports, they have what would be considered an easy path into the win here. One round separates them from a 4-2 start. Zomblers would actually drop to a 4-2 start as well, as this is a good look, a good future, a glimpse into the crystal ball of what the playoffs could look like.
And I believe with the rules for the league table, Able Esports will actually surpass Zomblers by virtue that they will have beaten them. So this is a huge game for both teams. Able Esports, they're on the cusp of greatness. They are teed up. They're in the home stretch. Their opponents don't really have too much to contest them with. They got some subs and 1 AK. A little bit of util, no fire. Well, sorry, 2 fire grenades. I got 3 fire grenades. There you go. They're starting to buy a little bit more. And so things are starting to look a little bit better from a util perspective now for Zomblers. It is a Hail Mary, but it is still something that could happen. This is CSGO, and we have seen Zomblers pull some crazy things over Able Esports in previous rounds, even if it was just 1 or 2 times.
And honestly, no matter which way the dice fall here, I would love to see these guys go at it in a BO3. Vent dive for Zomblers. They're already down, and MNZ is so confused after all that util, has no idea where to look. But look at this, Zomblers. They're already onto the B bomb site. They've got control.
Oh, this is absolutely huge for them. They've still got a trailing player. Yumi is trailing. He's going to be getting spotted, though, so unfortunate for them. The flank is going to be getting found out and taken down pretty quickly, but this is exactly what they're playing for. They've got subs in close quarters situations here, Angel. So it will be a little bit less of an advantage for their opponents as Panda does get the first blood for his team, following it up for a second one, and they are slowly but surely taking apart their opponents. It's all down to D1. All he's got to do is hold this down. It's planted for him. All he's got to do is, as soon as he hears it bust through the wall, cool, and then go on the other way now. He's going to try and stick the defuse, but Diabetic pushing it into overtime. Like I said, anything can happen. Zomblers, well played, my friends.
Oh my goodness. So It's not a BO3, but we are going to get some overtime out of the electric play from Zomblers. D1 living up to the name there. We're all tied up, and we get a little bit extra. What a treat for us and the viewers watching at home, Comica.
Yeah, we're at least gonna have a few more rounds here, and it's more than welcome in my personal opinion. Both these teams, I don't think we've seen quite enough just yet. This has been some great CSGO from both these teams, and so I really wouldn't have it any other way, but I'm sure both these teams would have liked to have ended this thing a little bit earlier, especially Zomblers with their massive lead that they had.
Oh, yeah.
And then Able with being on map point first and their opponents being on a force buy. So both these teams have things going for them, but I mean, obviously we're going to be taking a little bit of an extended break here. The tensions are high, and you can literally cut the tension in the air with a knife, dude.
Oh yeah. For those of you that, just in case this might be your very first broadcast here of Counter-Strike, overtime works as such. We're going to get 6 rounds here, Comica. You're going to have 3 Zomblers, I believe, are going to stay on the attacking side. They'll have 3 rounds to do so. Then we'll swap sides. Able Esports will get a chance to attack as well. The main goal here is you got to win 4 out of these 6 rounds to win in overtime. If we end up 3-3, then we move on and we keep doing so until we have a winner.
Yep, pretty much going to be first person to hit 19 rounds. So, I mean, it could really go either way. Able Esports, they are going to be starting off on the CT side, like we said, and they will be starting off with full money. So we saw what they can do with double op setup, and that's something that they could very well pull out again with the amount of money that they are having now. It would be very bad for them if they were not able to pull it off. But Zomblers, when Able are on full buys, especially with that double op when they had it, it was very hard for them to push much of anything. I do want to give a little bit of credence to them in the fact that they were on saves a lot of the times when they were making these pushes, and Able was always in a little bit of an advantage in that aspect. But yeah, going into these 50-50 situations, I think it's going to be a lot harder for Zomblers to be getting the success that they had when they were, first starting off on their T side. Angel.
100%, I agree there. And what I would like to see, honestly, is Zomblers kind of learn from their mistakes from that first half here. I'd love to see them have a more dominant CT side instead of, honestly, what we've seen is both teams have struggled from the CT side. So I feel like that's going to be the key to winning overtime here, is who has the more dominant CT side, gives them that best advantage before we swap sides as well.
Yeah, I think that's going to be it as well. That's more or less what I was thinking, is that both these teams, they did struggle on their CT sides. Able was able to bring it up a little bit more towards the end, especially with the ops that they had. Front M, he was disgusting, to say the least, with it. And there were a lot of positions where we saw Chuck able to just blast people through walls, and just in general, they were doing pretty good when they were on their full buys. So I think that it should be a lot better for them. But Zomblers, we've seen them do a lot with a little, so I'm just curious to see what they can do with a lot here as well. Maybe they've figured out something exactly what they need to know that we haven't quite picked up on just yet. But yeah, I'm curious to see how they start things off, especially with so much on the line with them starting off on their T side.
Both teams, like you said, taking an extended break here, getting up away from the PC. Kind of gotta shake loose the nerves here of an exciting series, what it has been here. Really reset the mental. Something I learned a couple of seasons ago from Coach Newt, man. He had his guys, anytime they took a timeout and they needed kind of a mental refresher, to get up, go look at, like, open the refrigerator and kind of just look and then come back. And it kind of mentally reset his players as to, in serious moments, not taking it quite so seriously, so that they wouldn't overthink it. And then they come back, they're refreshed, and they're ready to play.
So what you're saying is that these players should take a minute, go outside, touch some grass, and come on back inside?
I mean, I don't want them to do anything that might be too scary, but it could come out with some unexpected benefits, at least. But we're just waiting on Explicit here to ready up so we can get overtime started. And I know both fan bases here are excited to see the rest of this matchup.
I mean, that's me included, dude. You've literally not been able to split these teams apart, as shown by the score line. But Yeah, they're finally going to be up and ready to go. We are going to be in the first round now of overtime, ladies and gentlemen. In case you missed it, once again, I'll give another quick recap. Both teams struggled immensely on their CT sides with, being able to buy up. They always got themselves in situations where they were down economically up against their opponents, but that's not going to necessarily be the case here. And so Able Esports, their biggest weakness on their CT side will not be something that they have to face early on, and it should give them a lot of benefit up against Zomblers, at least in the initial.
And we are underway. Extra innings, if you will, if you're a baseball fan. Zomblers trying to assert some outside control immediately here. Able Esports, we saw them do kind of the same thing. MNZ, he smoked off, doesn't have any sight line, so he won't be able to see the impending doom that is coming. Zomblers has 3 outside. They're making their way. And Able Esports is kind of giving up outside control.
Oh, but Frontnam trying to give a little bit of support. He's going to be watching the cross. He's actually going to run up through the fire, audacious as it gets, and gets Yuumi. And that's going to be combined with Chuck able to be on the retreat. So they get a kill, do a lot of damage, and then they fall back. This is a great start for Able. And they've even got a flank going here from MNZ.
Panda's in trouble, was not ready for the flank, like you said. So MNZ is able to find Panda. And it'll be a 5v3 start here for Able Esports, doing a phenomenal job on the CT side so far. But the bomb has been planted. Zomblers now for the 3v5 hold. Able Esports starting to rotate in. They're going to get all members ready for this push. They've got a lot of util to work with as well. So Able Esports, I'm leaning kind of onto their side unless we see some great shots from Zomblers. And that's one of them.
And that's one coming out from G1, looking to follow it up with another one, but Viper, oh my god, he's turned and burned on all of them. That's huge. MNZ still with the potential to do something here. He's got to be doing it quick. He does have a diffuser. Is Jay Nasty ready for it? Is he ready for the smoke? He is absolutely ready for the challenge. And Zomblers, just like that, they got double first blooded. They were coming into this 3v4, and the fact that they were able to get just such a successful plant on A was really the difference maker there. Able, they gave up the site in favor of making a flank. They thought they would get a little bit more out of it, I think. But unfortunately, that left Zomblers with a golden opportunity to get a plant down.
Kamika, I know we get paid to talk, but I'm almost left speechless. What a great hold from Zomblers there. I mean, really taking advantage, isolating some 1v1s, even that quick flick there as well. And they'll be rewarded with the early lead here in overtime. So Zomblers, kind of something that they're not used to here and winning that first round. But will that give them the extra confidence to go ahead and take 2 more here and go up 3-0?
I mean, it's always possible. Able Esports, I don't think they're going to be quite prone to making the same error again. They're a very introspective team. Well, I did an interview with them, and they are very quick on picking up what they did wrong. So I don't think that Zomblers are going to be gifted an opportunity like that quite again. JR Nasty is looking to see if there's a guy chilling behind the little vent hold there, just using that hole in the wall to see if he can get a nasty op shot onto somebody, but it's not really making itself available. So with a minute remaining, they're going to have to explore other avenues.
54 seconds left into the round. Zomblers is going to have to make a move quick here. Only 3 damage has been traded between both teams here, and it's been toward Panda. 40 seconds left. Now, we saw last time Zomblers took their time. It did not work out in their favor. Will we see deja vu here, or will they have learned from the previous rounds? Now, 30 seconds left. Vipum's going to go ahead and start making his way from outside.
Going for a flank. I kind of like that. It is going to be watched, but MNZ gets a little bit too aggro, and he will be getting first blooded there. Now they're ready to go. Man on the outside and full push on the inside. Are they going to be ready for Kizzy? The answer is no. Devastating damage as Panda goes down on the outside. Explicit right up next to him, and no survivors is the name of the game for Able Esports. But Vipum still alive and kicking. Not a lot of time remaining, so he's just going to try and at least get Explicit and recover the op so that they don't have to invest so much in getting it back. But either way, good round win for Able Esports.
And Vipum able to bunny hop away there. And like you said, Able Esports doing a phenomenal job, standing tall. No one cleared heaven. No one cleared rafters right above hut there. Able Esports takes advantage of that. And you can't make mistakes like that, especially in overtime when it's so close. And we are tied right back up. Last round of the first half of overtime here. Zomblers trying to get that early advantage if they can. but they've got to do a little bit better job of clearing the site. And I honestly think time kind of became a factor there. But look at this, MNC blind.
No.
Oh my goodness, D1 able to find him with the molly, but my goodness.
God, that is even more devastating than the last round, dude. But I mean, Yumi still coming on the outside of the map. Could easily catch out front M, and he will see the shoulder before he is seen in return. So it's a 3v2 situation. Op is still in the hands of JR Nasty. He's sitting and waiting to see if anybody will take an audacious peek out at him, and he also has to go and get that bomb back up. In the meantime, Explicit will be able to take down Yumi. Chuck holding the angle close and will get some nice tap fires onto JR's head. So Able Esports, they will win the majority of their CT side. Will they be able to repeat their T-side prowess again up against Zomblers? I have to give the same benefit of the doubt to Zomblers in that they had similar issues and they are also going to be fixed by starting off with a lot of money. What do you say, Angel? I want some hot takes.
Yeah, I think that's 100% right. The pistol definitely was their weaker point coming into they lost both pistol rounds. Now that money is not an issue, and we get to see the equalizers here now from the CT side. I think we already saw it from the T side. Zomblers was able to win that first round, and then Able Esports kind of readjusted their game plan and was ready for Zomblers. So I think we see the same thing here. I think Zomblers picks up the round, the opening round from the CT side. They tie it back up, and then at that point, it's all to who can adjust quicker. Will Able Esports play the evolving game, or will Zomblers kind of stay stagnant like we kind of saw in those last two rounds?
Yeah, I mean, Able Esports, when they did win a lot of their T rounds, it was pretty methodical. Zomblers, I do have to say they were a lot more creative with a lot of their round wins when they were on the T side, whereas Able were a lot more methodical. They found one gap in their opponent's defenses, and they were able to exploit it time and time again before a resolution was made to fix that. And so if they can find that gap again, then I think that Zomblers could very well be in trouble and have a hard time fixing it once again. Able Esports poking and prodding on the outside of the map. It was a source of great benefits for them in the last time, and so I'm not too surprised to see them fishing for kills on the outside of the map once again.
Zomblers, they've got to be able to rely on each other here. They can't put too much of too much weight on the shoulders of D1. But look at this. Viper gonna find one, make it two, switches to the USP, back to the A1S. Oh
my God.
Playing through the smoke. Viper able to find three, but front M shuts him down. JR Nasty with the AWP on sight through HUD gets Kizzy, and it's all down to front M. Just a massacre there through the smoke. And now it's all down to the 1v4. Front M methodically making his way outside. Banda's there to line the shot up. He'll get the kill. And almost like we predicted it there, Comica. 17-17 tied up here. This is starting to lean more towards a second overtime.
I mean, that could very well be the case. That I guess nothing is ever as easy as it seems in CSGO, my friend. You would think that they would have been able to find Vifem in that situation, but immense well played there from Vifem. He gets both of them before they even realize that he's there, goes into the smoke, knows exactly where he is from the missed shots, and then goes in for the third kill. It's huge. And so Zomblers, that's going to be something that you can't necessarily rely on to happen a lot, but it just goes to show that you do have some good ability, but the smoke is going to work both ways, as Kizzy does actually use the smoke to benefit his team this time.
Little peekaboo action there. Kizzy scaring D1 right out of the round, and now Kizzy coming in clutch as he makes his way down the stairs. He'll find Yumi as well. That'll give the 5v3 man advantage to Able Esports, trying to get the advantage and put the pressure on the Zomblers. They've been here before. JR Nasty lands a shot onto MNZ, trying to get these numbers back to normal. Oh! He'll find Chuck, but front M had the shot lined up for the trade out. Kizzy finds a third here, and it's all down to Panda in the 1v3. Front M's going to get this bomb down, and Able Esports will hold.
Yeah, and it's in a perfect spot for where all of his teammates can see it as well. Panda's going to be hard-pressed to push back in, but front M, oh my god, even in the close quarters, the quick scopes are going to be on point for him. Just a little bit of a heat check there for himself as he does put his team over the top in that round. Now we are in the danger zone for Zomblers, as Able Esports are in a pretty good spot to go in and win this, but I mean, I can't really predict anything right now. I usually love making hot takes in this position, Angel, but I really can't justify it by any means. If you're going to put a gun to my head and force me to make a hot take here, though, I say that Able Esports goes on to win this one off the back of that.
Well, I tell you what, Zomblers doesn't have a FAMAS in hand, so I don't know. I trust them more with a mixed bag, but no. JR Nasty lands the opening kill here on the front end. That's huge. That drops the AWP, so now they don't have that long range to look in. So Zomblers trying to make a fool out of you here. Yumi's gonna drop a nade in. It'll do a little bit of damage. Oh my goodness, but through the smoke, Yumi finds 2. And Chuck finally trades him out. Explicit and Chuck trying to end the game here and take the win for Able Esports, but Zomblers continues to stay alive. D1 goes ahead and throws that AWP on top of the hut, gets it out of the range of Able Esports so they can't collect. And right now, with 65 seconds left, it's leaning back towards Zomblers, forcing us into overtime number 2.
Yeah, I guess smokes are not the best friend of Able Esports. As that's 2 times in OT that we have seen them get absolutely smoked, for lack of a better term, by players standing on opposite ends of smoke that they just can't quite see, and being ready for them. But Chuck, we've seen him in great positions do some nasty things to people as well. So Chuck flashing himself in, seeing what he can find. In the meantime, most of the players on the opposite bomb site. Explicit about to turn this corner, but unfortunately misses the preliminary shots, and he does not get a second chance as Panda shuts him down. Chuck, now, yeah, just walking into death. Not much else he can do there, as Zomblers going to be pushing this into double OT.
So even more Counter-Strike action that we get tonight. These teams want it bad, man. And so much is on the line here. Like you said, seeding is 100% an advantage when it comes to the end of the season. And with this being a 12 game season, every single win counts. So these teams fighting and battling just to, maybe for bragging rights even. Honestly, I think both of these teams are going to make playoffs. But trying to say, hey, we're the better team at the end of the year.
I mean, hey, if you're serious about CSGO, it doesn't necessarily matter about just winning for playoff positions. Obviously, that's important, but you want to win because you want to win, man.
Oh, yeah.
You want to say that you're better than everybody else, and at the end of the day, that's really all that people remember is not how much money you won. Tell me how much money the most famous esports players won. You can't do it, but you can tell me who he was. So, yeah. Either way, Able Esports looking to put their name on the annals of history as they go for this push on the outside. Vipum going to get a little bit flashed out, but he's gotten to the dangerous position where Zomblers had great effect the last time they got to it.
Zomblers trying to replicate their success that they just had from the CT side. 18-18 now, ladies and gentlemen, and Vipum's gonna open us up here, but MNZ on top of the silo. He'll trade out Vipum, so nice job there from Able Esports to even the odds. Front M's gonna find Yumi sitting on top of the ramp, and again, an aggressive push here from Yumi, maybe just trying to get a peek and see, and he'll be met with an AWP bullet to the chest here. 4v3 man advantage down to Able Esports for the moment. Zomblers scrambling.
Well, that's rough. Yeah, Kizzy, that Molly's not going to be necessarily where he wanted it to be, but still, the push should be pretty successful for Able Esports. Zomblers are not in a great position at all to counter it. So, should be plenty of time to get this plant off for the side of Able Esports. They're planting for the ramp, although that does seem to be not the avenue of attack that Zomblers are going for. So, it's a great plant spot for them. And Zomblers, this is going to be a difficult retake position for them. They've got the Opper coming from the ramp, and the rest of them are coming from down bottom. Able Esports all consolidated on the objective. It will be a hard retake.
Front M has the angle ready and waiting as soon as he sees the ankle. Didn't even need it off the flash. My goodness. Front M gets Panda. Chuck is going to shut JR Nasty down as well. It'll be all down to D1 in the 1v4. He's sitting... Oh, no. He's going to be running away up the vent, and here comes MNZ to hunt him down. And he'll pay for it. D1 will get an exit pick there, but Able Esports, they will take the round. So, winning a little battles, but Able Esports taking the step in the right direction to win the war.
Yep, that's a pivotal round, especially considering the fact that, yeah, if you win 2 rounds on your T side, and you go in to do exactly what you did before for Able Esports, I think it's looking pretty good. They just got to make sure that they don't stay on the wrong end of these smokes this time around, and they will be looking very, very good to win this game up against Zomblers. It appears that they are going to be just putting a skeleton crew on the outside of the map. That's the Opper, but going for a pretty vanilla push right through the middle of the map, getting stalled out by the util, though.
I have a feeling Able Esports coach is going to have them working in nothing but smokes here in their next training session. But regardless, we're here on game time. They've got to win this matchup here to improve to 4-2 on the season. They're doing the steps, or they're taking the right steps to do so as well. 80 seconds left into the round here. Able Esports have not made any or a lot of advancements here. They've gotten somewhat of outside control, but you've got Vipem and JR Nasty there ready to counter.
Ooh, Vipem, he's in the same spot again that he did so much damage to them the first time from, and they're trying to backdoor them, coming from the outside, but Zomblers are nice and ready for it, and devastation is felt once again by Zomblers. Seems that the back door is being slammed shut right in their face by Zomblers this time around, and now it's going to be extra difficult for Able as Zomblers get a free op out of that. They're going to be coming in with a hot double op setup.
Yeah, I like this play. Zomblers kind of in the driver's seat here to give themselves the advantage going in once we swap sides here. And honestly, I think they need it. We talked about this earlier. The key to winning this overtime for both of these teams is to have that 2-round advantage on your CT side before you swap. The Zomblers, very crucial position here. If they give it up to Able.
Good nade.
Oh my goodness. Oh, Yomi, if he had just stuck around for maybe another shot, could have gotten a kill there. Oh,
the smokes again. Here we go. Smokes again. They're all lining up, but they do finally manage to get the trade out. MNZ taking immense damage, though, and JR Nasty getting in position to potentially deny a plant. Oh, big missed opportunity there, and the plant will go down, and so they will be able to get into some prime positions to hold off this push, mulling him off the push now as well. So Able Esports still got plenty of things in their back pocket to make it so that their opponents can't push them right out of this post plant. Yeah.
That'll do a lot of damage, but look at this. Vipem opening it up here. He'll find front M. Couldn't land another one. So a couple of misses may have cost Zomblers here. MNZ and Chuck, they're going to mow everyone else down. It's all down to Vipem. So the nightmare reoccurring here down on the B bomb site when someone has height advantage. Obi-Wan warned Anakin a long time ago. Vipem gets one, but needed to land 2 more. So the 2 missed shots coming back to haunt Zomblers there.
Yeah, but will they, in true Star Wars fashion, pull an Obi-Wan Kenobi and say, "You may strike me down, but I will come back stronger and better than ever"? That is the real question for Zomblers, as they really need something good in this T side. The smokes, they were giving them some good benefit, but that's not something that you can always rely on. Lightning struck twice in the same spot for them in the previous half, but like, as you can see, it doesn't always go that way. That time the smoke went in the hands of Able Esports, and they didn't really have anything to follow it up. So Able Esports, as long as they can avoid getting piled up in those same positions again, which is something that I've seen them make adjustments on in the past, then I think that they can put this one to bed.
And I tell you what, if they win this game off of a smoke play, then they can come full circle. You know, at first they were the student, now they are the master. If we continue with the Star Wars jokes, but nonetheless, we've swapped sides. Half number 2 of overtime number 2. Let's see if Able Esports can get 2 rounds here and walk away with the win, or will Zomblers put the pressure right back on them? We've seen them do it time and time again from the T side, especially when money's not an issue.
Yeah, for Able Esports, I'm looking at front M in order to be their first blooder here. It's been 50-50 in the op fights. I got to be totally honest with you with who gets first blood from these guys. Both teams have incredible offers, but in order to make sure that your opponents don't get some early advantage, we're going to need front M to do some awesome stuff here. Chuck, in the meantime, he's going to be joining alongside front M, I do believe. No, front M has rotated to the other side of the map. So, Able Esports with a very default setup, and Zomblers pretty default themselves. Nothing too crazy in this heightened intensity game.
Oh man, MNZ in a great position, and he will capitalize on it. They'll find D1 Chuck on the other side, though he'll get Vipem as well. So a quick 2 kills now, and they have yet to clear that. We've seen this time and time again. And they had a man looking, but front M lands the shot to take advantage. Able Esports in the driver's seat now. Panda, the solo member of Zomblers, and he'll fall. A flawless round for Able Esports. And Kamika, we are 1 round away, and that is a lot of pressure on Zomblers now.
That is concerning for Zomblers, to say the least. Able Esports, that looked so strong, so good. What they've been hoping to go for the entire time. Literally the round that you would have dreamed of coming into this position. And Zomblers, they just got to deal with it coming into this round, pretend like it didn't even happen. But yeah, outside of the map doesn't seem to be the best friend of Zomblers anymore. They went for a full push on the outside. Their inside pushes, their A plants have been where it was at. So I'm not too surprised to see them trying to fall back on that. But bullets coming through the open door, doing a lot of early damage to Yuumi.
Oh man, I thought we almost had it, man. I thought the smoke play was there. Yumi's gonna take some damage, but he'll avoid taking an exit to this round and possibly the game. Right now, Able Esports, they have a little bit of the health advantage. Yuumi down to 37 HP. Zomblers kind of scrambling here, not really knowing what to do. I think they're talking about it, relying on their IGL to make the right decision, but they've got to land their shots as well.
Yeah, Zomblers have made some decent gains on the outside, and ooh, MNZ, he's getting a little bit aggro with it. This is something that Zomblers have done, and it has cost them rounds, but as soon as he takes a bullet, he's gonna molly himself out and say, all right, I just gotta chill here, dude. And I really do like that. Seeing if he can get some intel, and as soon as he does, he just gets right on away. Chuck, with enemies barreling down towards him, he's going to be seeing and putting a shot onto Panda, trying to delay with the util. And delaying is going to be the name of the game here with 30 seconds left. It's now or never for Zomblers. You got to go. And in the meantime, Kizzy, he's going for the mother of all flanks to stall that enemy team. But oh, he's nice and ready to put some shots on him. JR Nasty does go down. Explicit going for the repeat and does get another one down. But the aggressiveness of Able Esports is once again starting to be their undoing as they go down players. Plant going down in the meantime, and Front M gonna see if he can find a straggler.
Oh my goodness, Vipe, I'm keeping them alive now. It's all down to Front M in the 1v3. I did not think Zomblers was gonna be able to pull it off, but they do. Luckily, Able Esports has 2 rounds to play with because Zomblers somehow pulled out the miracle play there. I really thought that Able Esports had the advantage. I mean, time was becoming a factor as well, and history repeats itself. Zomblers was just not efficient when it was coming down to the final seconds of rounds and not having the bomb planted, but they figure it out there, and they are 1 round away from tying this thing right back up, and we could see triple overtime.
Yeah, this is once again the time for Able Esports. They're going for a hold on the outside of the map, keeping MNZ a little bit close, but still dropping the util and Explicit. Holding a little bit higher than we are normal to see, but ooh. Does he try and hold this? He's trying to take the boost on him. Oh, this is audacious as a guess. He's going to be seeing the foot proper angling from Explicit and is going to be netting them a kill on to Vipe him early.
JR Nasty finds Front M. That's huge. That'll drop the AWP now for Able Esports. And it'll also even the odds here. 4-4. Explicit's down to 75 HP after making a nice play on the outside. MNZ switching out as well to see if he can catch any stragglers. No one's going to be there, as Zomblers has made their way all the way inside now. They're going to contest back to that ramp side as well. And JR Nasty, he's going to land the shot on the Chuck here, so that'll be 1 down. I think they're going to have their way here down to the B-bomb site, and they do. And Able Esports, they're going to start rotating early here. This could be detrimental to Zomblers. Yuumi has to make a play. And he can't. Kizzy. Oh, gets traded out by JR Nasty, and now it's a 3v2. Make it a 2v2. Oh my goodness.
It's all on JR Nasty, and MNZ coming up to put a bullet right in the back of his head. The smoke almost blocking him off of his sight. But either way, Able are going to have it in them to pull one over on the likes of Zomblers, beating them and now passing them on the league table. They are now 4-2 and slightly ahead of their opponents that they just defeated. Huge win on a difficult opponent for Able Esports.
My goodness, what a series, Comico. Man, we had the treat to be able to cast that together. Oh my goodness. But this is not over. Mark my words. These 2 teams, they're going to meet again in the playoffs. Will it be a grand finals? I don't know. But what I do know is I want to see these teams go at it in a best of 3 or a best of 5.
Yeah, I think that a best of 3 would be pretty awesome between these 2 teams. I mean, with just one map, you can already see just how close it was. But yeah, I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more, maybe even a replay of this in playoffs. That would be the dream here, Angel. But unfortunately, that's going to be a story for another day, as we're going to be getting out of here. I'm going to go and do a little bit of an interview with Explicit, and yeah, I'll catch you a little bit later, Angel.
Have a good one. Thank you, Comica. Have a good night, man.
You too.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. An unfortunate ending there. Zomblers, you could tell they wanted it all. So did Able Esports. And unfortunately, in live sports, somebody has to win. Able Esports come away with the victory here tonight. But like I said, I still feel in a best of 3 scenario, we could see this turn the other way, or even another map, or even just a round gone a different way. We could have seen a different outcome here. Both teams looking really strong. They're in prime position to have playoff pushes as well. Will we, or did we look into the crystal ball, or will the rest of the season prove to be pretty harsh on both teams? Both teams now looking at a 4-2 record. I'm going to be excited to watch these teams kind of moving forward, because that was an entertaining matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, my name has been AngelOfBattle 07, your host and caster for the evening. I really hope you guys enjoyed your stay here and enjoyed the content. Thank you so much for allowing me to cast for you. I'm gonna get out of here. You guys have a good rest of your evening and weekend coming up, and we will see each and every single one of you in the next one. Have a good night.
A bass guitar, simmer down and mash me up, tripping like I'm Jimmy at Woodstock. Drumming round in your red Ford, shivers down my spine.